So today we are going to study about PEM, that is protein, energy, malnutrition. So in simple terms, malnutrition is abnormal nutrition, that is which is bad for our body. So we take energy from our food. There are different components of the food called as metabolic fuels, which are fats, carbohydrates, and amino acids. If the intake of fuel is more than the expenditure, then it will lead to obesity. But if it is less than the expenditure, then there will be undernutrition. There are two main clinical conditions which comes under undernutrition, called as Kwashiorkor and marasmus. Before that, there are some one-liners which can be asked as MCQs. First of all, RQ, that is respiratory quotient. You all may know that it is the ratio of volume of carbon dioxide and volume of oxygen, that is CO2 by O2. The amount of carbon dioxide produced and the amount and the volume of oxygen consumed. This is respiratory quotient. So for respiratory quotient is the ratio of volume of carbon dioxide produced with volume of oxygen consumed, that is CO2 by O2. So estimation of total energy expenditure can be done using dual isotopically labeled water, that is 2H2O18. Another term is BMR, that is basal metabolic rate. It is the energy expenditure by the body at rest but not asleep under controlled condition of thermal neutrality. That in simple terms, when you are resting, the amount of energy which is consumed by the body, but where does this energy goes? You all know that our body inner environment is always maintained in a homeostasis. So for this, there are a lot of mechanisms going on, a lot of enzymes working which need energy. So that energy is basal metabolic rate. Coming to undernutrition. So there are two conditions which comes under undernutrition, that is marasmus and Kwashiorkor. First of all, what happens in undernutrition? There is inadequate intake of protein and calories. So if proteins are less in diet but calories are normal, then the condition will be Kwashiorkor. But if both proteins and calories are deficient in diet, then it will lead to marasmus. You all must know that undernutrition is more common in children below the age group of 5 years. So in this figure you can see a child. What are the different clinical features you can see? So from head to toe we can see sparse hair. There are very sparse hair. Another thing, this is called flag sign. As you can see, first there are normal black pigmented hair, then there is white hair, less pigmentation, then again there is pigmentation. So it looks like a flag. Pigmentation, normal, low pigmentation, and again pigmentation. So this sign is called flag sign in the hair. Then you can see moon faces. The child's face will be swollen like and round like a moon. Another thing is fatty liver, swollen abdomen, edema, swellings in the leg. Now, why are these clinical features seen? So, quoting the lines from here Harper's Illustrated Biochemistry, protein deficiency. Protein deficiency is the main cause. Other than this, which leads to stunting of growth, and children with Kwashiorkor are less tempted than those with marasmus. So what happens is, this is your blood vessel. Inside this you have RBCs and plasma. There are different proteins, and so what happens is, when protein are less, so you all must have studied in physiology, proteins maintain the oncotic pressure. Proteins are less, oncotic pressure will reduce, and there will be extravasation of fluid or water in the interstitium. And this extravasation leads to edema. So you see edema in feet, in abdomen, called as ascites, on face, so moon faces are seen, other mechanism which comes in the pathophysiology can be infections which can precipitate Kwashiorkor. Superimposed on general food deficiency, there is probably deficiency of antioxidant nutrients such as zinc, copper, carotene, vitamin C, E. So, the pathophysiology includes low plasma protein, and what is the main one? It is albumin, which leads to decrease oncotic pressure and edema. Another thing you see is fatty liver. So why is there fatty liver? Because of impaired lipoprotein synthesis. You all must integrate this with the lipid metabolism chapter, and there will be oxidative stress, and free radical injury. If there is infections, so As Harper quotes, infection precipitates Kwashiorkor. And there can also be other micronutrient deficiencies. Like zinc, selenium, etc. So, how will we diagnose these conditions? It's easy, by clinical features and by anthropometric measures. Anthropometry is basically the measurements of human body, including weight, height or length, and MUAC, that is mid upper arm circumference, etc. So these anthropometric measures will be more discussed in detail in your pediatrics. Lab findings may show decreased albumin, we all know. LFT, liver function test, will be deranged because there is fatty liver. More precisely, there is increased transaminases. In CBC, we may get features of anemia, electrolytes may be deranged, and blood glucose. We may get hypoglycemia. At your level, management is not very much asked, but to give you a glimpse, as you all know, there is deficiency of proteins in that diet. The nutritional deficiency should be managed. So, nutrition therapy along with correction of other derangements like electrolytes, blood glucose, etc. Plus treatment of infections if present. So how can you prevent these undernutrition? So first of all, we suggest exclusive breastfeeding till 6 months of age. After that, proper complementary feeding should be started which should be balanced with protein, carbohydrates, and fat so that all the nutritional requirements of the baby are met. Along with infection control and nutrition education to mothers. So, to summarize, protein energy malnutrition is a major public health issue in children under 5 years of age mainly. So, in Kwashiorkor, basically, there is edema, fatty liver, and skin hair changes. For example, the flag sign. Diagnosis is mainly clinical and management include nutrition rehabilitation and addressing the underlying cause. Thank you so much.